Hello, it's Crypto CJ. It's a trade of the day, Monday afternoon, evening, Tuesday morning edition, depending on where in the world you are. And Bitcoin is making us sad today because, as you can see from my background, red dropping, but it's unusual because it's dropped more than most of the altcoins. I've never seen this in my 4+ years of crypto trading. We're going to look at that shortly. We're also going to look at an article that's going to tell us why this is happening. Some of these issues we discussed last week. Let's get into it. Share my screen. And you should be seeing an article, why is Bitcoin price down today? Okay, I'll assume
Yes,
you're seeing it. Thank
yes,
you.
yes, yes.
And
Sorry, muted. Kept talking to myself.
all right. I know I usually rely on you for that, Craig, but as you do me when you host something. But anyway, so Bitcoin drops almost 5% today, which is quite a bit, down below 60K. No one's happy about that. And I've highlighted why we think this is going on. We've got some outflows from the ETFs, some nervous Nellies, not used to Bitcoin's volatility, maybe bought in. It's like, oh, boy, what the heck? 10% drop? I don't think so. Maybe they're calling their brokers saying, get me out of this. So there's probably some of that going on. Last week we talked about the German government seizing quite a bit of Bitcoin and presumably from criminals. I think it was Kim who brought that up. And so that's now in the news. And then we've got the Mount Gox plan to repay creditors. If I recall Mount Gox correctly, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that's a crypto exchange that went down about 10 years ago. And there did have some resources, Bitcoin and other cryptos to reimburse their creditors, primarily the people who are using the exchange. And there's always been a fear that that Bitcoin would get paid out and dumped on the market all at once. So that seems to rear its head every 3 to 6 months. Looks like it's doing it again. So all those factors come together makes Bitcoin kind of sad and dropping significantly today. Yeah, all the way down. I'm on a 15-minute chart just showing today's action. And quite a significant drop. We were in the mid 60s on Sunday most of the day, and then wow, almost a 10% drop. Have recovered some. Looks like we just broke above 60K, so that's good news. I'd like to, we want to see 60K hold as support. I was concerned it might flip and turn into resistance. We still don't know. Next couple days we'll figure that out. And then something else I wanted to show you guys. Yeah, when you see my Binance Bitcoin list, you usually see it in alphabetical order, but you can also sort it by the change, either negative or positive. So this is a positive change. You can see some coins did pretty well today. But what's very unusual is that Bitcoin is the fourth worst performing coin on this list. I've never seen that before. And then some other, you know, older projects, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Uniswap, they round out the top four worst performing coins today, and that's very unusual. Usually it's some altcoin that you never heard of or has lower trading volatility that gets some whale dumps a bunch of it and that gets crushed. But nah, it's the big boys. All these have considerable volume and all dipping pretty bad. So I don't know what to make of this, but I thought I would point it out because it's so unusual. Anyway, so that's all I have about the markets overall. Anybody care to add or speculate or?
Are you able to bring up a chart of the altcoins? What do they call it? The top. There's a chart with the combined altcoins.
I know I think I know what that
Or
is, but I
or if
can't.
not, just bring up Sol,
Okay.
which is pretty much
I
doing the
happen to
same
have that
thing.
on my 1 hour layout for the for swing trading. Is this okay, or do you want to
Yeah,
bigger
no,
time
that's
frame?
fine. It's just so Sol hit its resistance down there at like about 122, and then it turned basically. It's recovering,
Hmm.
and that's in contrast to Bitcoin. So
Right.
the altcoins are, and it's not just Sol, but it's the if you look at the altcoin chart, they're all pretty much doing it. Um, it's just amazing that
Yeah.
the altcoins are recovering and Bitcoin isn't. Bitcoin's usually the leader.
I've never seen
And
this.
look at the volume that's come in to that chart over the last
Mm.
12 hours. So people are obviously moving out of Bitcoin and into the alts. Well, that's my take on it.
Yeah, you
Do
might.
you have an, I'm sorry, do you have an ETH
E-
Ethereum chart?
Ethereum, ETH. Yeah, this is the one we usually
Right.
look at. And
yeah,
it's
same
recovered.
thing.
It did not go down nearly as much as Bitcoin. It's down 2% today. Bitcoin's down 5% today. So yeah, there's something is afoot at the Circle K, as Bill and Ted would say. I don't know. This is very strange to me.
You
Yeah.
can look at total 2 and total 3.
That's what I was after.
All
Yeah,
right.
total two,
Yeah, if
total
I can
three.
remember how to bring that up.
Yeah, I must add them to my watch list.
Yeah, they're not on my watch list, but okay, there's total two. I'm not sure what to make of that.
Well, that's all crypto minus Bitcoin.
All right, so total three, that's the one you want?
Total 3 is
Minus
all the altcoins and minus
Bitcoin
Bitcoin
and
and
Ethereum.
Ethereum.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the chart I was actually after. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's the biggest dip we've, well, that's an hour chart. Let's go to the day chart. Yeah, we haven't been down this low on this chart since early March. Though we've hit it before in a couple other dips, this range. 590 billion, 600 billion, give or take. And yeah, I've hit it a few times, but it looks like we're bouncing up above it. We haven't gotten quite above it
Go
yet.
go into about the 15 minute, and it's we can start to see the recovery
Yeah,
happening.
yeah.
Broken the recent highs.
Recovery looks good. Let's hope it can sustain. So,
There's
well,
one more. It's called other. Try,
others or
I think it's
other.
other.
Yeah, this is what I got.
I think it's others.
Crypto total market cap excluding top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that takes out Solana and some of the
right.
biggie.
Structure
Link
wise, it
or
looks about the same as the total three. So, but a little better recovery. Okay. Well, I guess we can conclude there's some good news that the alts are, so a lot of these alts are moving. Wow, this is weird. Is it a new day? Is Bitcoin finally separating and less likely to be the leader of all the cryptocurrencies? This is weird, wacky stuff. Okay, well, other than saying how weird it is, I don't really have much to offer on it, other than I'm very curious to see how this pans out. So,
Well, the other important thing is that Bitcoin's about to break a 4-year cycle, which is, in terms of history and charting and everything else, is really, really important.
mm,
And if it breaks the cycle, then all predictions are off.
yeah. Yeah, that would jeopardize what we think is a bull market. We assume this is a dip within the bull market, but what Craig's talking about could jeopardize whether we're in the bull market. Is that ending it? Are we in a consolidation or now in a bear market? Well, the next couple of weeks will tell. All right. So what do we do? Got this news. Do we trade? I took a trade
Find
today.
trades on the altcoins.
Trades on the altcoins. We are an Altcoin Alert, so let's see if we can find some of those. I traded KSM today, got a nice result. Put a stink bid on Bitcoin, picked up at 60,000. So I'm up slightly on that one. Put one on Ethereum, didn't fill at 3,000, but maybe that's a good thing. All right, let's go to Altcoin Alert, see if we can find some day trades and swing trades to take advantage of this dip. So if you're new, here's my usual setup for Altcoin Alert. I've got easy mode off. I've got the altcoin radar as opposed to the dashboard. Usually when you sign in, it'll look something like this. But I want more information than this, so I'm going to turn easy mode off, altcoin radar. And then the first thing I usually do is sort by AA score. We'll do that now. Click on this. And I'm looking for values 80 and higher, give or take. Well, high 70s are acceptable as well. And we can look at Phantom, 82.7. So what AA is telling us is there's an 82.7% chance that Phantom will go up 3% or more in the next 48 to 72 hours. As a day trader, that's interesting information to me, but I'm not just going to take Altcoin Alert's word for it or any other information source. I'm going to look at the charts, try to find an optimal entry point, and that's what I like to talk about on my Zoom calls. So we're going to look at the Phantom chart on the 15-minute, which is going to be my day trading layout. I'm looking for 1 to 1.5%. And if you pile those up, your balance can grow, pretty well. I'm a more experienced trader, so I trade on leverage. I'm going to be at 10x leverage. If you're new to trading, this kind of trading, you should just trade spot on something like Coinbase or Binance or Bybit, depending on where you are in the world, and get some experience and confidence trading on the spot before you mess around with leverage. So, and then the second layout we're going to look at is for short-term swing trading. That's going to be maybe a 5 to 10% move, longer depending on what your preference is. And we'll look at that layout as well. We'll look at FTM on both of them. So I'm going to go over here to my day trading 15-minute layout, select FTM from my watch list. You can set these up in Trading View. There are videos on how to do that. Pretty simple to do. All right, so you're going to see a few what we call indicators on my charts. This green and red is support and resistance. And I use supply and demand visible range by LuxAlgo. It's that indicator. And it's pretty easy to find. Click on the indicators. Type in supply and demand and it'll show up. Click it and you can add it to your chart. So that tells me the range of where the price action is and the time frame I've chosen. So in the 15-minute time frame, which goes back a couple days, this green zone is here around 55 cents, and this red zone is here around 60 cents. So that's the short-term range. The indicator I use to set alerts is the RTI, the Relative Trend Index. And my favorite alerts occur when this value dips below the 20 here and then comes back up. A dip and a retrace. Those are my favorite entry points. That's what I talk about the most. And I'll show you a quick example of that. That occurs right here. You can see the red. Let's try that again. Yeah, you can see the red shows below the 20 on the RTI and then breaks back up. When that happens, my entry is going to be like right about here. Dips slightly and then shoots up, and it's a 4% move.
I have a question.
Sure.
When you said it's retracing back up, do you get it when it crosses back over the 20, or do you wait till it gets a little further up, closer to the 50, so you're not waiting for it to pop back down below the 20? I mean,
I think I understand your question.
There's a gap there.
Yeah, I've set alerts for both actually. So my alert on Phantom would be if it breaks above the 20, that's something I'm going to look at. If it breaks above the 50, like happens here, that's something I'm going to look at too. On the ones that break above the 50, I'm going to look at my cumulative delta for confirmation of the trend. This is more of a trend-based approach where, you know, the break above the 20 is a dip and a retrace. I don't look at cumulative delta for that, but I look at it for a trend-based trade. And you can even trade it when it breaks above the 80, and that happens here. And I think if the market were more of a stronger bull market, that's when I use the 80s. We're not in that right now, so I'm even reluctant to use the 50s, but the 20s I like. So if it dips below the 20 and comes back up, you know, that can be a good entry. We have that again over here.
We'll go
And it
back
makes
to
a really
that,
nice move.
that 20 that you were first looking at there, where the red, where it's dipped down and it's coming back up.
Mhm.
Where would you get in there at? For a long or?
Yeah, for an alert, if the alert goes off, I'm probably going to be in here somewhere. And, you know, if I see this green candle, you know, I'm probably getting in right here. I'm not aware, obviously, of the red that happens. You know, it does go a couple percent against me. Most likely, I make an additional purchase here. Then I gotta get out around here somewhere. So I'm in this trade for about 2 hours, make 1.5% at 10x leverage. If I have 2 positions, then, you know, that's even better. So that's how that works on a day trade. That answer your question?
Yeah, that answers it. Thanks.
All right. You may not get the best entry when you're relying on indicators to show you where to get in. You know, that's not a limit order you're setting ahead of time. Once that alert goes off, you can try to do a limit order, but it can be difficult. And to be almost all my day trades are market orders. So I take the hit on the fees just to make sure I get in, and then, you know, I just take that into consideration when I'm calculating profits. Okay, any questions on FTM as a day trade?
Comment.
Okay, go ahead, Frank.
I just, a lot of people don't use it, but I look at divergence, and you look at that first red area, how far it goes down
Mm-hmm.
and where the price is. And then you move over a couple inches on your chart and you see those 2 other red areas. They don't go down as far, but the price went down farther
Mm-hmm.
than the first area where it went down. That's a big time divergence. And then you see that massive move after that. You have to wait for it, or you might take the first one, get out. But when you see that next one and it comes down as far as it did, and RTI doesn't go as far down in the red, that's often a big reversal.
Yeah, what Frank's talking about is divergence is the difference between the indicator and the price action. And here we've got a dip that corresponds to this drop here. The price action goes down. This drop goes down more than it does here. And then the price action goes down more, but the RTI doesn't go down as much. That's kind of a crude example of divergence, me just weighing it here. That's more
well, that's exactly it. And on the right
Mhm.
one, you see they're closer together, but the first one dips down farther
Mhm.
than the second one, but the price goes again considerably.
Yeah, I could even draw it on here.
You could draw it with your drawing tool. Just connect
Yeah.
those lows and show on the connect the price on the low.
Yeah. So this is it. So
For what it's worth. So
yeah, so this is divergence here when this is bullish divergence because the indicators is trending up, but the price action is trending down. So this can have some predictive qualities to it. I've had more success doing this on a longer time frame than the 15-minute, but it's been hit and miss. But a lot of traders really like divergence. I've gone through periods. If you look at some of my older videos from say 2022, I talk about it a lot. but I haven't used it as much. But obviously Frank likes it, and we all have different approaches, and that's why these Zoom calls can be fun. I want to see what other people are doing. All right, thanks for that, Frank. Anything else on FTM as a day trade? Okay, I'm going to take a quick look at this as a swing. Okay, so on my swing trade layout, I'm on the 1 hour chart, and I'm usually looking for about a 10% move, maybe 5 to 10% on a swing trade. Get back to the 1 hour. And I still have the supply and demand visible range that I'm using for support and resistance. And here's a divergence indicator if you want to investigate what Frank was talking about. You can add this to your charts, and it'll show you when divergence occurs among different indicators. So, but this particular one, what they call reboots, retraces, something like that. Repaints, that's the word. So take that into consideration. But what I like to look at on my swing trade is a super trend and the Trendio LSMA, which is a moving average. The super trend I like because it's easy to use and alert friendly, though I am considering changing this to some degree. But I'll get back to you on that. I'm going to test something first. But for now, we'll go ahead and rely on it, or at least use it in coordination with other indicators. Like this buy signal triggered on Tuesday afternoon on the 1 hour chart, and the LSMA turned green. We're coming out of the support area, which is usually the best place to get in. We got a nice move up on FTM, 7%. If you were holding out to get to the red zone, this 13%, you would have gotten there eventually. Actually, today, you'd have been in the trade for almost 6 days, but 13.5% in 6 days, that's a good swing trade. So good stuff there. And how you set these alerts, right click on the super trend. For a long, you'll select a buy. If you're more experienced, you want to short, select a sell. Want to trade both directions, go with the direction change. But for now, we'll go ahead and select a buy. If you want to leave it on, if you choose once per bar close or once per bar, it'll stay on until you turn it off, which means you might get alerts going off at 2 or 3 in the morning. So take that, turn that off. I've got a reminder on my to-do list to turn these off at night. I don't want to be awakened anymore. I used to get up for alerts like that, but that's not worth it. Okay, alert name. This was an AA score. And on notifications, notify an app on my phone, pop up on my desktop computer, play a sound also on my computer, and then you choose one you like. I choose different sounds for different approaches. I would probably go with handbell on this one and click create. Now at the moment, we're late for a buy, plus we were pretty close to the red zone. So I don't know if this is one I would have taken at 6 a.m. had I been up that early trading. But, it did make a 4% move, not bad. And then it might go all the way up to the top of the red zone. I don't like getting into long trades this close to the red zone. So another approach on this that takes longer, just go ahead and set up another buy signal and leave it on for only once. And again, AA score. So if you set this one up, what'll happen is when it dips back down, which is inevitable, a sell will print, and then it'll trend back up, also inevitable, and a buy signal will go off. It may not happen for a couple days, but you could get in down here instead of where you are now, and maybe pick up a 4 or 5% move. It retraces all the way back here to where this one was last week or on Sunday, last Sunday, 65 cents. That would be a nice move, almost 10%. Okay, any questions on FTM as a swing trade?
I got a question on your indicators. The supply and demand visible range, when I pull mine up, it did not look like that at all. Did you
Yeah,
change the settings on that and what to? Because
I
mine's
did.
sparse.
Pretty sure I did a video on that. It might be the
Okay.
the intro one that I send on Mondays,
Okay.
but yeah, inputs. Yeah, I changed the supply and demand. Red for supply, demand for green. So these are the, and I
You
probably
have to
made these
make
bigger.
you have to make sure you have the visible range one. There's two of them.
Yeah,
Don't use the other one.
yep,
Did you change the numbers at the top also?
no,
Okay.
no, okay.
It's just when I pull mine up, it was like they were large yellow flags and they had the indicators they were going off of, but there was only a few of them. I mean, there was not. Maybe I was on the wrong one. I don't know.
Yeah, there's quite a few here. So perhaps you were just, this is the one I use the Lux Algo, but it's got more than one. So maybe you were in one of these. So,
Okay, visible range. Okay.
all right. Well, we're kind of behind here. So I'm gonna move through a couple more pretty quickly. Let's go back to Altcoin Alert. We did the AA score. Another one I like is social activity sort. And I'm going to match up fire and thumbs up, or fire and fire. Right now, nothing's matching. We got Teller, TRB. I think we looked at that one last week. Lido. I know the Crypt Nation guys like that one. And INJ. Just picked this one up I think yesterday on a swing. Let's look at INJ.
Do you trade only on technicals or do you trace out the fundamentals too?
I will go through information sources on fundamentals and then go with technical. So it's mostly both. But on short-term trades, it's mostly technical. On long-term trades, which for me is like the hour chart, day chart, that kind of thing, then I'm more in line with fundamentals.
Okay.
But I try to blend them. All right, INJ, 15-minute chart. We are too late. This is in the red zone. This would be, for you more experienced traders, could be something to short. So it's hooking on the RTI. And if you want to set an alert to short this, you can do so like this, add an alert, crossing down. I usually choose the 80 and then call it what you want. Did I do an RTI alert before on the, yeah, let's, if you want to catch a move like this, where it dips down below the 20 and comes back up, it could take a while for that to happen. And then your alert's going to look like this. Should have done this for the FTM we were looking at. So we're going to be crossing up on the 20. I usually choose once per bar close because I do these in the morning and leave them on through most of the day and then turn them off at night. So once per bar close, or if you just want to hear it once, you can choose that option. And this is social activity sort. And yeah, everything else is the same. So that's how you create for a long 20, crossing up on the 20 for a short, crossing down on the 80. If you want to do something more trend-based, and I usually use the 50, crossing up on the 50 for a long, once per bar close, and then crossing down on the 50 for a short. Or you can just, I'm sorry, if you want to do both directions, you can just choose crossing, and that'll go off either direction. But if you're trading spot, you should use the crossing up option. Okay, any questions on INJ as a day trade?
I got a question on your RTI.
Okay.
They usually don't, and in the little green line in the middle of the last little hump there, it's going straight across, and they don't usually just cut off. These usually kind of kind of feather down. So would you not ride that out, or just ignore it and keep going and look for a bigger trade?
Well, Frank would ride it out. But
Yes.
there he is. So, but he's more of a swing trader than I am. For this layout that we're looking at, the 15-minute, I'm just looking for 1 to 1.5%. So, if I get in down here, that's going to happen probably before the 50. And then if I get into the 50, it's going to happen, probably right at the 80. So I'm not looking anymore, once it's up here for long. That's just not how I trade on a day trade. But on a swing trade approach, sure, staying longer, keep an eye on it. Maybe set some secondary alerts to let you know when things are going your way or going against you. That's sort of outside the scope of what I usually talk about, not really how I trade. So there's nothing wrong with it.
Right now, that's a candlestick sell signal at the top there.
Mm-hmm.
So I would end this. If I was in it, I would get out at that point.
Yep.
But I would have rode it up most of the way, if not all the way.
Yeah. You do have a few dips below the 80 here and here, but just barely. So, I mean, would you ride that? Would you make it go, say, below the 50, or are you that specific, or you're just kind of winging it?
The people that developed it say 50 is the key. So as long as you stay above the 50, you're technically still in an uptrend as far as the indicator is concerned. And you see higher lows, right, as you're moving up.
Yep.
You don't see lower lows. So
nope.
if you're not seeing a lower low, you're above the 50, stay in, move your stop up if you're using stops, or mentally where you want to get out.
Yeah, that's
but
a good
if
idea.
That's the swing, that's what you do.
So Kim, that's a better answer than I gave you. So if you want to use the RTI the way it was designed, and I don't exactly use it that way, then yeah, above the 50. You could set an alert on the 50 when it dips down, then you get out. So if you want to stay in longer. All right, good stuff. All right, let's head over to the 30-minute or the swing trade approach. I gotta move along here. I'm getting behind, but it's all right. Lots of good banter. I like it. All right, the 1 hour on INJ, the buy signal is from 3 in the morning. Yeah, we're almost to the red zone already, but it's a big, fat, chubby red zone. Yeah, it's like 10%, give or take. So you could use this area here from last Sunday. You're on $25 for your exit. So if you got in now, $25 is 11 to 12%. That's a pretty good swing trade. Could take a week, but we're also pretty close to the reds. We're just past the halfway point, kind of in no man's land here. Red printing. Yeah, I just think we're too late for this one. This would buy triggered here. Trendio triggered here. If you got in then 8%, love that. So if you want to do this one, I think it's similar to the last one we looked at. You go ahead and set an alert on the super trend for a long and wait for it to print a sell and then another buy. That'd be a way to do it. You could just set an alert down here using a price alert. And maybe crossing up on $20. So that's showing some strength. If it dips and shows some strength coming back, that might be a way to do it. I don't know. Don't like it that much. Not sure if I would do that one. A little too late. Any questions on INJ? Okay, any questions on Altcoin Alert? It's about time I head over to iCoinPro, the home of the 1-2-3 dip. And that approach is pretty much inspired how I do the 15-minute chart we were looking at earlier. You know, if you catch one of these dips and retraces on the 15-minute chart, that often corresponds to a recovering 1-2-3 dip on a 5-minute chart. It's just more, or just easier to set alerts with this approach. All right, so I'm gonna head over to iCoinPro then. And there's two tools here that I like, the RSI Spy and the Buddy Coin Crawler. I'm on the RSI Spy now, and I'm sorting based on the 1-hour RSI, which is similar to the RTI. Actually, RSI is way more used, more popular relative strength index. Looking for values below 30. Don't have any at the moment because the market's starting to recover. So everything's above 30. It's very unusual to have Bitcoin the first thing listed here. I'm not sure if I've ever seen that before, but you've heard that enough. Again, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, we talked about these earlier. So these are all dipping and starting to recover. You know, let's look at Bitcoin as a day trade. I don't know if I've ever done that before. Why not? Bitcoin. All right, so here we are on the day trading layout. We've hit the green and we're coming back. We just broke above the RTI, just nudging above there. That's entry, you know, not financial advice, but I usually prefer coins that move faster than Bitcoin for day trades, but you've got a perfect setup here. You've got 6% back to the red zone. You know, for me, I'm just looking for 1.5%. I'd probably get out, you know, right around here, around 61,000 and change. But you might want to hold longer on the spot side. Here's some resistance, 62.7, and then obviously the red zone here at a little over 64. So these are all really good day trades. I like to set up a lot. So yeah, looks good. Any questions on Bitcoin as a day trade?
Big time divergence on the RTI.
Yeah, from here to here and here to here. Yeah. Yeah, I'll go ahead and draw that one in. It's a good example. Well, something like that, but you can see the difference. All right, let's look at the swing trading setup. Bitcoin is a swing, why not? On the 1-hour chart, it's still in a sell. Trendio is not hooked yet, so this one's pretty easy. Just do a buy on the super trend. It's already coming out of the green zone when the get confirmation with the Trendio LSMA. I think that's a go. That'll probably happen right around here, around 61K. And then, you know, ride this back up to the red zone, almost 10%. If you go to the very top to 67.3. We may have some news events this week that encourage that. So yeah, looks good. Any questions on Bitcoin as a swing? All right, we'll look at one more on iCoinPro. That was the RSI Spy. The other tool I like is a Buddy Coin Crawler. This was problematic a month or so ago. Looks like they've resolved, they've fixed this, so it's good to go. Do a quick refresh. Looking for values 4% or higher. Sorting by this average low to SMA. Low is a 24-hour low. The SMA line is the moving average line you see between the Bollinger Bands on my charts. Let's see, which chart do I have? Yeah, right here. That's an SMA, that red line there. And these two green lines are Bollinger Bands. Okay, so what do we have here? It's looking good. Metal, Gala, bunch of junk. Near, I like near. Teller I like. You almost looked at that one earlier. Let's look at near. Quick look at near, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, it's been ranging pretty hard between the green zone here, just above $5, and the red zone here at around 545, 550. So I kind of like this action as a day trader. I'm hearing some background noise. Can we, yeah, let's go ahead and mute that, please.
Keep going.
All right.
Love you too.
So on the RTI, we're above the 80, but hooking down. This could be a good short entry for those of you more experienced. We got to bounce off the resistance area and trending down on the red. Did just hook. But let me show you how you do an alert to trade both directions. We're going to enter a channel. We're going to set up a channel with 80 on top, 20 on the bottom. Once per bar close, we'll leave it on all day. And this is Buddy Coin Crawler. And notifications, yeah, it looks like that. Click create. And you'll get this rectangle here. So if it breaks below the 20 and comes back like we have here, then you'll get alerted from that action. And then this broke above the 80 and it's starting to dip down, but didn't quite hook. Just bounced off the 80. If it jabs down and closes there, then you'll get the alert for the short. And you can either enter the trade then or not. Look at the other things going on. I would usually suggest taking a look at Bitcoin, but I don't know, it hasn't been relevant to the altcoins today. So that's usually a good thing to do. Okay, any questions on near as a day trade? Let's take a quick look at near as a swing, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, as a swing on the 1 hour, we are pretty close to the red zone. Don't like that. I like this as a short. So you could set an alert on the super trend. If you're more experienced and trading on leverage, go with the direction change. I think that's the one I would use. If you want to go long on this one, select the buy, wait for the next long signal to print. If you want to short it, choose sell. But be sure to look at your other indicators. Don't just go by the super trend or you'll lose. Make sure that you have the LSMA going your way and that you're in a desirable place regarding support and resistance. Okay, any questions on near? Okay, how about anything that we've talked about? Any coins you want to look at? Very well. Wrap it up here. Thanks for joining me on kind of a crazy Monday. If you are watching on the recording, would prefer to see you live, but thanks for doing that. Check out the opportunities in the pinned comment. They help fund the channel. We'll see you guys on Friday. Have a good one.
See ya.
Bye.